What up?
What's
All
up?
right.
That was a
We out here.
Live.
Woo!
Making-
Yes.
Making the Bolts great again, and I
That's
cannot
right.
wait. Cannot wait to see this next season, man. It's crazy to me because we keep talking about how amazing this pickup is with Jim Harbaugh and what he's going to bring to this team. But gosh, the season's not even over for 2023 yet, and we are going to wait to see all this come together.
It's like, we have to wait. We have a long off season now.
Big time. Big time.
This is how we were for a long time, waiting for the old
Mhm.
Harbaugh news. We all knew it was Harbaugh. I mean, I don't think anybody was, I don't think there was another person that there was really. I mean, we interviewed 15 head coaching opportunities, but
Yeah.
it was so there was exhaustive search. But I think Harbaugh was the guy the whole way. I think that's what we all thought.
I mean, yeah, of course, we all thought he was, but we all also thought that the Spanos family was going to mess this up. That's for sure.
hey, that's how we do. That's how we do. And,
Yeah,
and this is how our division's looking like, right? I love it.
Dude.
It's so solid, man. I mean, you gotta love it. But hey, dude, the rumor is Andy Reid might be retiring, right?
Exactly.
So pretty
Changes
interesting
a lot.
how that
Changes a lot there. What do you think? What do you think of this? Andy Reid retires. Bill Belichick comes in. Whoa! How wild would that be?
I don't think Bill.
That would be crazy, dude. That would be crazy.
I mean, I think it'd be crazy, but I think Bill's he's a man out of time, though. Like he's
Agreed.
Yeah, I don't think it's not going to be a smooth transition at all. So yeah.
I watched what was it? Colin Cowherd talk a little bit about is it Colin Cowherd? Marshall Faulk was on there, and he's like, I really want to know what he said to the Falcons to not get that job, because I think he was a lock for that job, period. But he must have said something. Very interesting to see. I think he might be done. So, guys, we should just get into it. I know you guys are talking about Jesse Minter. We're going to talk about Jesse Minter. We're going to talk about the OC. We're going to talk about GMs. We're going to get into all of it, guys. So
let's get it.
Let's get it, guys.
Let's go.
Boat Bros.
I'm Dale Henley. You watching the Boat Bros podcast? Let's do it!
All right.
Yes.
We gotta get a new intro video. Oh
yeah. We gotta work on something. Yep.
Yeah. We got some ideas. So we're gonna get into the whole Minter conversation. There's a lot to discuss about that, but throw your thoughts out as well too. So yeah, again, guys, this is the division right here. We're also gonna talk about the OC here in a little bit as well too. So there's a couple of names out there, but yeah. A lot to discuss. So we could talk about the GM first, right? I think right now Joe seems to be the guy, or Brandon Brown. Ed Dobbs hasn't come back for a second yet. So
yeah,
we'll have to see how that plays out. I thought Joe was going to get announced yesterday. So I'm a little surprised that didn't happen.
Well, I mean, the Ravens season's still going on technically. So
True.
Yeah. But I think it's also this week or today. I believe Jim Harbaugh is in Michigan right now, kind of letting everybody know, hey, see you later, saying goodbye to everybody, being professional about him leaving his job, basically.
Yeah.
And I think he's just kind of buttoning up everything over there too. And then tomorrow he's going to be at the Ravens game in Baltimore. And then Monday he will be in LA. And they said in quotes, for good too. So,
for good.
Yeah, for good. I mean, all right. That sounds good. I mean, let's get to work, bud. So I'm excited about it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think he's probably also going to Michigan to basically ensure that he's not going to get burned by the NCAA as well still.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's such a fluid conversation, right? Because didn't you send it over, James, or was it you, Kyle, that sent it over that even the NFL might punish him for some of those potential violations? So I was like, that's kind of weird. Like, why would the NFL care?
I personally don't think it's going to happen. I mean, I would assume that the Chargers did some sort of conversation with the NFL if there's any sort of issue that could come up with this. I mean, you got to think of what happened with Pete Carroll, and USC took the hit for 4 years, essentially, for what happened with Pete Carroll and USC.
Yeah.
So I can't imagine there's going to be anything that comes through. It would suck if something did happen. I mean, just think of how terrible that would be if they're like, oh, you get a 5-game suspension to start your career off. And the Chargers, oh, boy. Bruh.
Bruh.
Crazy.
Wait, I got that button. I got that button somewhere.
Yeah, you gotta have that button. Bruh. That's a mandatory button, dude.
Oh, man.
No, it's the wrong one.
Man, you messed it up already. You messed it up already.
It wasn't. These aren't labeled. They're like I gotta label them. Yeah.
Oh man, hitting the wrong button.
Yeah.
So I know. As far as GM's concerned, right now I would think it's this gentleman, then also Joe. They're the only two that came back for second interviews up to this point. So I don't know. Hey, guys, thank you.
People found the
hey, the button's good.
The button's good now. Yeah,
we got paid, guys. I appreciate that. Yeah,
we finally got ourselves remonetized. So we were in the penalty box for about 6 months or whatever. So like,
yeah.
So in unison, to answer Jim Allen, we got to do what they do. So we got to say it.
Yeah,
and then we got to do what we got to do. So I'll say it. Who got it better than us?
Nobody.
Hey, I'll tell you, dude.
Baby.
I'll tell you what, man. The sky's the limit, dude. Like he has done. Yeah. We'll talk more about the whole Herbert Harbaugh conversation, but there's a lot to discuss on that, man. And again, you need a GM that can build a roster, right? I think partially this is why I like Joe Horns. I'm not a huge fan of. He's okay. I think he'll be fine.
Yeah.
But I think whoever they pick as a GM is going to be a guy that's going to work well with Jim Harbaugh. That's 90% of the conversation.
Well, and the big thing about Brandon Brown is that he's an assistant general manager.
Thank you, Jim. By the way, I appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you. By the way, thank you. And the thing is, though, Brandon Brown's a young guy. He's 35 years old. Basically, part of the 2022 team with the Giants and getting them to a 9-7-1 record. Earned a postseason berth in 6 years for the Giants. He was a part of all that as an assistant role, and then was from also the Eagles and the pro scouting department and everything too, and director of team personnel. So heavy in the Eagles and a little bit in the Giants side of things. And young guy, a young cat that's really is a hot name in the GM side of things. So it'd be really interesting to see where they end up leading in this too. And Joe Horowitz, I think, really is going to be the guy that's going to end up being here just because of the connections that he is currently with the Ravens and been there for since '98, essentially. So name all around.
Yeah, and clearly Harbaugh knows him. John knows him, and then clearly, Jim will figure it out with him potentially, or maybe he even knows him already as well, right? And we all know that he wants most of the control, but again, the question is the scouting team. There's a lot going on. There's a lot of moving parts on who's bringing over. We're going to talk more about all that too, but the GM conversation is pretty interesting. I think that's going to be the next step. This guy could be good. Yes, he's definitely young. Dobbs, I think, would be good, but it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. He hasn't come back for a second interview, so I'm kind of curious as to why not.
Yeah. And the thing about Dodds, I mean, he's been a hot name and actually has declined even GM interviews at times too in the past couple of seasons. So the guy has really been a big name in the NFL for GM side of things, and he works very closely with Chris Ballard over there at Indianapolis.
Yep.
He's very good about communicating with coaches, seeing the fit of a player, be able to watch tape and know that guy's going to fit for this team. So he's a very good guy in the sense of knowing talent that's going to fit well for their team. And to be honest, if you look at what the Colts have done, I mean, they even have Gus Bradley as a defensive coordinator, and their defense is actually pretty good. Offensively, I think they're not bad. It sucks that Richardson went down, but at the same side, Gardner Minshew basically came in and did fine and almost got him to the playoffs. So, that's a good thing. I mean, that's an attribute you want from a GM, a guy that could look at talent and know how it's going to fit in your team. Role players, basically. We're drafting you because of a role, not because of, you're a second round grade and we got you in the fourth kind of thing. Like, no, draft a player that fits for you in your system and a role for your team.
Yeah.
That's the right way to do it.
And especially for a first round pick, you want them to be able to operate day one, but they're a day one starter, no matter what, they got to fill a role and they got to, do it well,
man. And just realize what the Raiders are going to go through now. I mean, if you got the Tom Telesco philosophy, you're gonna get. And I really truly believe the Raiders. Yeah, the Raiders basically got Tom Telesco because I think they're trying to figure out the quarterback situation, and so they hope that a little bit of that Herbert magic can come from this draft for them to be able to pick that guy. Like, I think personally, they're going to probably end up going JJ McCarthy. Right. I think that's a little heavy to take him on a first round pick, in my opinion.
Imagine if they actually just keep Aiden O'Connell, though. I mean, a lot of fans.
He was okay. He was okay.
Yeah, a lot of fans would probably be okay with that because I feel like since like the last couple of games he started, like he was winning. So I don't know. They just might want to keep that energy going, you know?
You never know, man. I mean, you never know what's going to happen. I mean, the thing is, though, we know what Tom Telesco does. He's pretty solid in the first round picks. Second to seventh, you might get a Pro Bowler. I mean, he only had 2 Pro Bowlers after the second round with us.
Wow.
Like, not good. Not good. Yeah. Original one. Yeah. We got to steal the draft. Trey McKitty. Oh, come on now.
Yeah. Where's he even at now? Isn't he?
He's not in the league. He's not in the league.
Oh, he's not?
What's crazy about that is that with McKitty, and it was Palmer before that pick, I believe. Josh Palmer worked out pretty well. But after the McKitty pick, you know who was available about 4 or 5 picks later was Amon-Ra St. Brown. Man.
Yep.
That guy's an absolute stud. One of my favorite wide receivers in the league.
That guy's a beast, yeah.
He's so good,
I was going to do a video on Emmanuel's show, that exact video. But that, by the way, that show absolutely aggravates me.
I hate that show.
All they do is just yell over each other the entire time. It just freaking aggravates me. I need to double like my Adderall dose just to pay attention, and then I want to break the TV off the wall, you know.
Right. Yeah.
But like they're doing it for clicks. They're doing it for clicks.
100%.
You know?
100%.
So that's all about the controversy. Yeah, that's all it is.
Well, what was that? I think I said to you about the Kay Adams show, and it was the
love me some Kay Adams. What's up, girl? Woo! Love me some Kay Adams. Oh yeah,
the guys from the. Whoa, I don't know what that.
There you go. There you go.
I need to reverse it. I need to reverse.
Yeah, you reverse that. Go back up.
Yeah, power that one up. We got to power that one up. I like that. That's good.
Yeah, who was it? Taylor, whatever the guy is. Busting the boys, or whatever that show is, or whatever he came on.
Yeah, busting with the boys. Yeah,
Taylor something or other. Anyways, Hennick Decker, or I don't know whatever his name was. He was talking with Kay about the whole Jim Harbaugh hiring, and he was like, "Oh yeah, in 3 years they'll win the AFC West." And Kay's looking like,
"That's right."
Wait. Yeah. You think they'll just win the AFC West in the next 3 years? He's like, yeah. I think that's what it'll be. That's kind of a little bit of a letdown because it's not about winning the AFC West. It's about going deep in the playoffs, get to Super Bowls kind of thing. Like, he's like, "Oh yeah, just low expectations." And I was like, "Oh, come on, bro. I get it. But like, come on, bro. Like, Jim Harbaugh is a guy that will get you far. He will get you far."
That's right.
And just so you know, we are going to be at the Atlanta game for sure. So the Bolt Bros are going to be there. And the reason being is we love the Out of Your Falcon Mind guys. So we're going to go out there. They're going to show us a good time out there in hot Atlanta.
Get ourselves some Georgia peaches and some barbecue.
Let's go. And then also,
Georgia peaches.
No comment.
Okay.
Isn't that a Justin Bieber song talking about getting his peaches in Georgia or something like that?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Are you a believer, James? I didn't know you were a believer. What's up?
I'm a believer, baby.
From LA. Yeah.
Okay, I get it.
But also the road game for Arizona too.
Yeah.
That will be here in Arizona for us. So I am psyched that we're getting another game here in Arizona.
Yes.
That's gonna be so dope.
Yeah, great.
So Arizona for sure, and then obviously James and I are in Arizona right now. Kyle's in Anaheim, but we're going to talk more about Harbaugh's press conference. We need to talk more about that because that's going to be pretty sick, guys. If you're in LA, you need to go to that.
No doubt.
By the way, I heard that Kaepernick. Someone said he might come back and be the quarterback coach, and I'm like,
quarterback coach? Maybe, man. I mean, that'd be better than him being a. That'd be better than him being a backup QB, I suppose. Because
he's 36 or something like that right now. It's like,
the guy hasn't been in the league for 10 years at least.
Right.
I mean, the guy's been trying to get on there. Now, once again, maybe he's just trying to bring back his boys once again. I mean, we'll see where that kind of pans out with this whole staff here. But Mr. Joe right here, Joe Horowitz, I'm excited about him.
I think he's the guy. Yeah.
He has to be the guy. I mean, the guy's been with the Ravens since '98, his entire career as an executive. Personal assistant, pro scout, area scout, national scout, director of college scouting, and director of player personnel. Once again, we're probably going to be the Ravens West at this point. We're going to start bringing a lot of guys over from the Ravens that have been with the Ravens or currently with the Ravens at some level. So I think Joe has to be the guy.
So let's talk about this briefly for a second, because the thing about, actually, you know what? Maybe let's talk about that. We'll talk about this one, but I think this is really what we want. Joe can put together the personnel that Harbaugh wants.
Yep.
Yeah. They're on the same, because look, clearly he's done a great job of drafting. I think his best draft was, obviously getting Lamar.
Yeah.
He picked like 3 Pro Bowlers in a row in that draft.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so we need that, right? And clearly we have players, but we do not have a culture, and that's what Harbaugh is going to bring. This guy can help with that, and that's a good thing. So I think there's a lot to be said about that. Tons of upside. And again, I think it's a big reason why we got Harbaugh. I promise you, the Spanos family drove him over there in a limo.
Yep.
Look at what we're building. This is all for you. Wine and dine him. I mean, look, there's a pool right here. Check that out.
Nice.
Dude,
so sick.
Do some skinny
some
dipping
laps.
in there. What's up, dude? That's gonna be sick.
Yeah, that's right.
I heard that there's going to be a area there. It's like a VIP section for fans with like this whole, like, while they could watch like practice. There's
really?
to be able to go there and have like this lounge area, this like seating where you could see all the fields from like a higher angle and everything too. And you're going to be able to hang out and mingle with like legends are going to be there. I would assume like, Antonio Gates, LT, like all these type of dudes are going to be there. So
hey,
it's going to be real sick. Like I'm hyped, man. I can't wait to be able to be there.
Maybe they'll set up a podcast studio and I'll just show up in there and just like hang out,
Yeah, we need to talk to Jamal about that for sure. We got to get involved in that a little more, and guys, this is really the first time we really connected with the Charger organization. I mean, which is kind of bad. We really need to do a better job of actually, connecting with them a little more. But guys, we're going to be at training camp. It's going to be a lot of fun. You guys link up with us, and you guys have our, email address, message us. We want to engage with you. The whole reason why we do this is we're real brothers. We talk to each other. And then secondarily, we want to communicate.
What are you a Canadian, bro?
Yeah, I'm a Canadian, bro. I'm a Canadian. Hey, and communicate with all y'all for sure, right? I mean, that's a big, create a community. I think that's what I was trying to say. But dude, that's the truth, guys. I promise you, people are nervous. I promise you.
It gotta be.
Well,
There's a real coach now in the AFC West outside of Andy Reid. I mean, not to say Sean Payton ain't a real coach, but like he hasn't done much since the Super Bowl.
Right.
And it's really, and that's maybe Kyle's point. If he was going to say it, he was going to say, I think that's the reason why Andy Reid's talking about, hey, I need to retire on top kind of thing.
Maybe, I was just going to say that, the whole league's afraid of Jim Harbaugh because, the Dolphins freaking owner was trying to offer an extra $20 million for Harbaugh to stay in Michigan.
Yeah.
So, like, damn, dude. It's like, the fear is real.
The fear is real, dude. And look, like, why would he want to stay at this point? Dudes, if he wins I do not want to see him win another Super Bowl. I want to see somebody else win it. I'd like to see the Ravens win it, maybe.
Yeah.
Or maybe the Niners. Who knows? I don't know if I really care anymore, but whatever. Yeah. Yes, I think this is going to be big. Guys, this is big. This is exciting. Okay, so let's get into this, guys. And I want to be very focused on this, guys. This is, I kept thinking, I was like, when is he going to announce that he's the head coach?
Yeah.
When this came out, I was like, what? Guys, we're talking about a college pep rally. Think about that.
Yeah.
But we ain't got no cheerleaders, so I'm kind of pissed off. We got the stupid Thunderbolts.
Let's bring the cheerleaders back. Let's bring the cheerleaders back then. Let's do it.
Let's bring the cheerleaders back. Let's run it back.
Yeah.
The Bolt Babes needs to happen.
We need the Bolt Babes. But dude, guys, if you're in LA, go to this. And James, you and I, we got to drive out for it, dude. I don't care. We got to go.
So sick. It'd be so sick to do that.
We got to go. I mean, it's not a long drive for us. We got to go. We got to go.
Yeah.
And
real sick. I'd be in.
So,
man, let's go. Screw it. Let's go.
I'm down, man. Let's go.
I'm already here. I look like my schedule. I'm pretty still pretty open, so I'm good.
Good.
And the thing is, though, we're waiting to see if the Chargers do announce this whole press conference rally type situation there.
Yep.
I would assume that it'll probably be coming on Monday. I mean, how sick would that be? Just to be able to be in SoFi Stadium. They're just hyped up with all the fans. We could do a live from there. How sick would that be if we could do that on top of that, and then get Jim Harbaugh on our podcast, be the first podcast to interview. How sick would that be?
Bro.
How amazing would that be? But hey, we should probably reach out to
from
Jamal
6
on
to
this,
midnight, dude. I just went from 6 to midnight.
Yeah.
But
the big thing that I love about this whole thing is that I feel Jim Harbaugh had a plan of getting fan engaged, like having events, having ways to get people excited. That's what's so sick about this whole thing, is that he created basically having this whole event in the afternoon with fans going there, or at least we assume that fans are going to be there, and just to have a college rally there. Like, I hope in the off season we have a bunch of little things like this where we just have a lot of fan engagement, hanging out in the public or whatnot, and just being very involved with the community and grow out the fan base.
Guys, we're going to talk more about Jesse Minter as well too. Look, the thing that I want to just say with Harbaugh in general, and by this right here, is a culture change.
Big.
Remember what we kept saying? Our way, our way. Well, you know what? Our way last year, we were 1-9 in one-score games. 1-9.
Yeah.
Guys, that's abysmal. And think about that for just a second. One-score games.
Probably like double that. Double that on 3-point games.
Yes, it's stupid. And it was just clearly not managed well. That won't happen with him. That won't happen with the defense that Jesse Minter will bring. Guys, it's going to be completely different. And by the way, this is great. Jesse Minter already says he's LA's DC. It doesn't surprise me. I think it's part of the conversation. We all thought it was going to happen.
Yep.
Well, he was probably also negotiating what he was going to get paid.
Yep.
What I think is probably what was going on.
Right. But it's awesome. And this is what you need to have as a head coach that comes in with a plan to be able to engage fans, be able to grow out this fan base. I mean, the one thing I can't remember, it was the Greenlight podcast, I think it was. Mm-hmm. They were chatting about this, and they said, hey, look, the big thing about LA is that there's like the Lakers, the Dodgers, like those are like the prime teams.
Yeah.
And then it goes to the Rams, then it goes to the Chargers, and then it goes to the LA Kings, if whatnot. Like, you got to find a way to stabilize your franchise to make it be one of those premier
100%.
franchises.
100%.
And Jim Harbaugh is going to bring massive buzz to LA. Like, you have to think that Michigan fans that are out there probably are going to start watching a lot of Charger games. You got to think season tickets are going to start flying off the shelves at this point. Probably 55,000 season tickets will probably end up being sold or whatnot. I heard some weird figures like that. This guy brings a buzz to LA, and it brings a charge to the Chargers in hopefully the fan base.
I see what you did there.
It's getting electric. You need to get that electric slide song. It's electric. There we go. There you go. There you go.
The LT
what's up?
LT electric slide.
I like that. So Mo Lightning, good to hear from you. Yeah. So absolutely, shout out PNDB Bolt Club. Hey, by the way, throw a link out. Throw a link out in the chat if you can, so people can add you. We like to add you as well too. So good to hear from you for sure. Yeah, guys. And
I know. They got a good old group up there in the Pacific Northwest. They're out there in Washington. Yeah, they're awesome.
That's great. Well, and then Lockdown just said Harbaugh's going to throw out the first pitch of the Dodgers game. That's amazing.
Hey, opening day.
But isn't opening day the season? Because aren't they doing a Korea series with the Padres to open the season?
Yeah.
I mean, maybe it's opening day in LA that he's going to do that. I can't imagine it's going to be opening day Korea series. I think they're starting the season in Korea against the Padres.
I don't know.
Well,
sorry,
I'll say this.
I don't even pay attention to baseball much, so
baseball is like whatever.
It's so long.
But Harbaugh's going to bring some nastiness, man. He's a weird dude, man. I mean, like he says what he thinks. I was listening to a couple of people talk about him. A lot of people reminisce him. Oh, Tommy T, what's up? What's up?
Oh, Tommy T, you're a Raider now, bro.
Wait a
man. Are you trying to get some tips for the Raiders over there, dude? Tommy T?
Yeah. He's getting some espionage over here. We got a banner.
Cool, dude. Yeah, you got to fan the Raiders, bro.
Yeah. Just teasing.
The Raiders.
Ray Turds. Yeah, that's right.
But again, he's going to bring some nastiness to the team. And I'll tell you right now, if you're not playing hard the whole time, you're not playing.
Yep.
And there were, and Marshall Faulk talked about this. He said, dude, and even Sherman said this. He's like, he's going to pull you. Doesn't matter. Oh, I don't care what you're getting paid. You're going to sit then, or we're going to trade you off.
And he wants you to be able to compete. And if you ain't competing, you're out, bud. Like,
that's right.
And you want to be able to see that. It's not like boys club kind of thing, like with Brandon Staley. Like, it's not like his dudes are always going to play regardless of how they play on the field. Like, they play like crap. I mean, once again, like Kenneth Murray, to me, like, why was he out there in passing situations? Like, shouldn't have been out there, dude. Like,
should have been Henley out there and passing.
Deion Henley, I think, is going to be that dude that's going to fit really, really well for Jim Harbaugh.
Yeah.
Like, that guy, man, when he was on the field, he was hitting dudes. Dudes. Remember when we interviewed him? We talked about the guy that he hit on special teams, and he just destroyed that guy, and how
yard sale that dude.
Oh, he was so hyped to talk about that. Like, I lit that dude up.
He's like, bro. He's like, he couldn't recognize, dude. He got straight up smoked.
So awesome.
Yeah. So OC, we're gonna talk more about the OC as well too. But again, why you want this guy? You're gonna bring some Charger fans back. You're gonna bring some nastiness back. You're gonna bring some competitiveness back. And we can talk about it forever. We'll talk about it a little more. Look at his winning percentage as an NFL head coach.
Well,
dude, that's crazy.
Yep.
44-19. And he took the Niners were 6-10 their last season. So we were 5-12, which is abysmal. We'll talk more about more as well. Most likely not. We'll talk more about that.
Well, and to say about Jim Harbaugh and what he did with the Niners and flipped their season, essentially, I feel like there's a good chance we could flip our record from this year to next year. So we could essentially be a 12-5 type team versus a 5-12. Right. Because like in why I'm saying that, and I'm not trying to say it. And once again, I'm trying to pump my brakes just a little bit, on this. Cause you never know what's going to be like, Chargers are an interesting franchise in general, whoever's at head coach, but the thing is though, like you go from a team that was 5-12, 1-9 in 1-score games. We could easily change that up so quickly from a 5-12 team to basically win 7 of those 9 games or whatnot, and we'll be a 12-5 base type team. I'm very much more confident with Jim Harbaugh being able to make those 1-score games be 1-score wins, in my opinion. And so that's why we're not far off, guys. Now we got a guy that knows what the heck he's doing, just like the video I talked about, how Richard Sherman was like, he knows what to do in the right situation, in any situation. He doesn't make the wrong move. And how many coaches have we seen where they've made a lot of wrong moves, questionable moves?
Well, look at Brandon Staley.
Yeah, there's a lot of questionable calls.
He did everything wrong, and trying
to freaking go for it. What was it? When the Browns game? Like they were at their 30-yard line and we tried to go for it. Yeah. Man, only thing that saved us was that missed field goal. Shoot. Yeah. Jeez.
Yeah. So it will be interesting to see what happens with Moore. We don't know yet. We do know he was blocked initially. Now they're letting him take interviews.
Yep.
I think Ryan Ficken, we're going to talk more about that as well too. So we're going to talk more about that as well too. So there's a lot. We're going to talk about the coordinators also. But again, let's just kind of go through this. This is Jim Harbaugh. I love these old jerseys like this, dude. So by the way, just so you guys know, I noticed a few of you guys talked about the blue helmets and things like that. As I understand it, next season, they are coming out with more helmet variations. I heard a lot about that. So guys, we might see chrome helmets. We might see all this other stuff. We might even see more uniforms. Apparently the NFL just didn't approve it this year for whatever reason. So next year there's supposed to be more variations. Not sure, but we'll go from there.
Yeah, hopefully we'll see a Navy head-to-toe situation. That'd be dope.
So sick. That'd be so sick.
Yep.
And the one thing I'm going to say about Jim Harbaugh, it's really cool that I learned about him, is that as a player, when he was in the NFL, in the off seasons, he was working with his dad when he was at Western Kentucky University as like an intern head coach or a coach for him.
Interesting.
So he was learning how to be a coach back then from his dad. like,
as a while he was still in the
while
pros.
he was still in the NFL as a quarterback.
Dang.
So he was trying to learn to be at this position and to be able to be his best even after his career. And that's awesome to be able to see a guy that does that. I mean, the Harbaughs bleed football, and they have done a great job as coaches. And so really cool to be able to see that, learn that a little bit about Jim Harbaugh, that he has been or gotten to this point and then some early on in his career while still being a quarterback in the NFL. So awesome to see.
Yeah, I like the idea of the Shield logo on the helmet too. That'd be pretty sick.
I'd love it if they do that.
Oh yeah,
that'd be amazing.
That'd be dope. Yeah, bring that back.
Let's talk about Robert Griffin. He said Jim Harbaugh being the head coach of the Chargers may be the best thing that ever happened to Justin Herbert. It's funny because people are going to say, well, why? Why? Because they're going to run the ball. Here's the thing. He's had to do everything, right? Mm-hmm. Like if he didn't have a perfect game, guess what? We didn't win.
Yeah.
And that's where it's a big conversation. And now a good running game, play action pass opens up. He doesn't have to be accurate all the time, and he gets hit less. And you protect your quarterback the right way. Like, he has a formula that works. Essentially, that's what the Ravens are doing. It's the same thing. They're going to run power. He calls it God's play, where you got a fullback and you were just smashing the ball down their throat and they can't stop it. So, Herbert doesn't have to do it all. And that's what he's getting at, right? Because right now it's 100% been on his shoulders. 100%. Throw the ball 40 times. All right, go win us the game, dude. That's too much. That's too much.
Right.
Yeah. And we know that was a big focus this offseason. And guess what? Didn't really work out. It worked out for one game for us, essentially, in our offense. I mean, we just don't have the right system in place. We didn't have the right players possibly in place. I mean, Austin Eckler does get injured and everything too. So one thing I'm interested about what's going to happen is what's going to happen with Isaiah Spiller. Like, is Isaiah Spiller going to be that guy? Or, I mean, I've already kind of looked at a couple dudes that are really good running backs that could be coming into this draft. And I would imagine we're going to dig into it a little bit, but we don't got a lot of running backs on this team right now. So,
well, we know Eckler's going to be gone, but secondarily, Josh Kelly probably will be gone. I don't think they'll re-sign him. Of course, they could sign him cheap, I would assume. But Spiller, dude, it's funny. I watched him again. He's good. He's got moves, man. He knows what he's doing.
Right.
I think he needed more touches, right? But anyways, to this point, though, Harbaugh's going to get the most out of Justin Herbert, right? And apparently, Colin Coward, he was talking quite a bit about how, I guess he was texting Justin Herbert. Justin Herbert seems really excited that Harbaugh is there because he's going to get. Here's the thing. I think when you're someone like Justin Herbert, I think a lot of people come to the room and go, "Hey, dude, you're good. We don't need to coach you up anymore." I don't think that's the right way to approach Justin Herbert. I think Herbert needs a little more direction, right? So I think Harbaugh is going to help him see things that he's going to show him his blind spots, and that's a good thing.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Go Kyle.
No, I was just going to say, it's like, I mean, 100%. I mean, just because a player is in the pros doesn't mean that they don't need to be coached. It doesn't mean that they still don't have they have nothing left to learn. There's so much more that they can still learn. I mean, they're not invincible. They're gonna make mental mistakes. That's just being human. That's being a play. It always happens, So, like, I mean, why have we had head coaches in the NFL for so long? It's like, like no one is above being coached in any way. So
100%.
Well, and that's the big thing.
Except for maybe me.
Yeah.
Oh, you can't get coached. Here we go.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the thing about this hiring and why it's such a big win for Justin Herbert is because I think Jim Harbaugh will teach him to do the right things at whatever situation is in front of him. So, like, I think about last season and how many times did we have, okay, you got the ball last and we got 45 seconds to a minute or whatever left. All right, if you go downfield and get a touchdown, we win the game kind of thing. Dude, it was like just getting bullied pretty much the whole time. And it's like it ends up being that Justin Herbert throws a pick or gets sacked for a fumble or something stupid happens. O-line protection breaks down all of a sudden. It's just bad situational football. And I will expect that not to happen with Jim Harbaugh.
Yeah.
Go back to the Bama Michigan game when he needed to go downfield for a touchdown to be able to tie the game, put it into overtime, and then put that baby to bed on the first drive. And then the defense basically did their job and held off Bama at that point and won the game for him. That's the thing that Jim Harbaugh is going to bring to this team: toughness and physicalness, and basically the right calls at the right time. And I think it's going to be amazing. There's people even talking about MVP seasons incoming for Justin Herbert. Like he's got a great chance to be something huge.
You're already talking about that with Brock Purdy, and Brock Purdy isn't very good. He's not an amazing quarterback. He's not a very talented quarterback compared to like Justin Herbert. The difference is he fits well in that system. The reason why that system works is they run first, they protect him, he doesn't get sacked.
Exactly.
And then he has the ability to do play action pass, because play action pass only works if you have a running game. Because they're not going to respect the play action pass if you're not running the ball. They're like, oh, he's going to throw the ball. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, and those are the things that open up abilities for Justin Herbert to really, rope-a-dope players. By the way, the announcement is February 1st at SoFi Stadium. It's going to be an old school pep rally, is the way I'm thinking it's going to be. But that's how it's going to be. I think the Bolt Bros are going to be there. We're going to try and make it happen.
Be amazing.
I'm
road trip.
Road trip, baby. Let's go.
Yep.
And by the way, he's had a run for his life. It's shocking. Again, you guys know that I watched the All-22 footage. Man, he's like maneuvering the pocket every time. Somebody is breaking down. Somebody is beat every single time. Don't even get me started. We have a horrible offensive line, and like, man, Pipkins sucks. It'll be very interesting to see how it plays out. I'm very curious to see how it plays out moving forward.
I think it all went downhill as soon as they switched Zion and Salyer to positions. Look at him. He's like, why would they do that? They just leave them where they were. They were fine.
I agree.
By the way, he looks like Fat Iron Man or Doctor Strange. One of the two. Which one do you think? Which one do you think?
It doesn't help.
It's the goatee. It's the goatee. It's the goatee.
It doesn't help that it's stretched out a little bit more. So
exactly. It widens them out a little bit.
I mean that's a neck, dude. He put like a road tire around his neck. You know what I mean? But I'm just saying. But Greg Roman looks like he's going to be the guy. So at least that's who it seems like it is. He was, a lot of ties with Harbaugh, knows his system. And, I think there's a lot to be said. The other guy I would say also, as far as the offensive line is concerned, is bringing McFadden. Dude, McFadden looked good, guys. He looked really freak. I will say this. You probably will see. I think Harbaugh's going to – I will say this. Harbaugh will probably come in and say, hey, man, cool. You got a big contract. Don't matter. You got to prove to me that you earned that contract. If not, we're going to trade you. Because I would trade him. Like, why? If you got a guy, like, for example, let's say Pipkins ain't cutting it. Trade him before the season starts. Trade him. Try and get rid of him. If he doesn't come in and show that he's doing anything, move him on. So
that's a lot like what Richard Sherman talked about. Like when he was at Stanford, he would make him do crazy things like trying to wrestle a sock off of a lineman or something like that. As a 180-pound cornerback against a 300-pound lineman, it's not a really fair matchup. But the whole idea of that is that Jim Harbaugh is trying to figure out Richard Sherman's competitiveness. Like, how much grit is he actually really, holding in there, to try and get that thing. It's like, because anyone could take a sock off somebody, if you just get in the right positions, stuff like that. So
it's showing competitiveness, and you want to show the guy's determination too. And I think that's really what it is. Like, how hard is this guy going to try? And that's how many times did I say when we talked about, man, it just looks like a lot of these guys are out there just trying to just not get hurt and just go do their job and just don't care. I mean, it's crazy. I was going to say a point about Greg Roman too. He never was over. Well, he was always under. Well, he was always a top 10 base running team wherever he went.
Gotcha.
So in yards wise, the worst that he ever was at 8th in the league. He's been first in the league 4 times in a row as an offensive coordinator, but essentially he's always a top rushing based offense. So that's one thing that you got to say. If Greg Roman ends up being the dude, we're going to have a run game, and it's going to work. It's going to work.
Yep. Guys, what do you think? So this is a good question here. Are we keeping Guyton as a free agent? I think he's going to be gone. Alan, what do you think? What do you think, bros? And in the chat, what do you think?
Nah,
yeah,
he's gone.
I would say he's gone. I mean, yeah, we picked up 2 wide receivers last, draft. We might even pick up another one this draft. So, and
we kept Simi Fehoko. I would say this. I think we're going to go heavy. We're going to see a lot of 22 personnel, a lot of 2 tight end formations.
Yep.
I think we re-sign Everett. I was going to do a video on that too. There's a few free agents I think we might keep. Guys, I even think, okay, in the chat and Bolt Bros, what do you think? Are we going to re-sign Kenneth Murray? What do you guys think?
I think yes.
What do you think in the chat as well too? Okay,
yeah.
And Kyle, why?
Well, so because here's the thing, obviously in the past with Tom freaking Telesco, every single time a linebacker in that position has done well, they've traded him off. Like they just did don't value that position at all. And I think that's a massive mistake. I mean, look, Kaiser White, he went off, did good things.
Kaiser White killing it. Drew Tranquil.
Yeah, Drew Tranquil.
Yeah. Oh my God, dude.
Oh. Uchenna Nwasu, same thing. All these people, all these players, they've gone off after they did really well their final year with the Chargers, and then they do even better the next time.
Yeah.
I think with this regime change, I think we're going to keep him. I know a lot of people might not like him because he does make a lot of mistakes, but I think that all came from coaching. K9 was not a Staley guy, and so he wasn't part of the good old boys club. So it's going to be part of this. I think I don't know. I'm hopeful. Because that way we don't keep making the same goddamn mistakes. Sorry for about everything.
Yeah.
So yeah,
it's okay.
Yeah.
Well, and the thing about K9 that makes me feel like he won't be here is because Jesse's terrible against the pass, and you can't do that. Now, once again, Jesse Minter's defense runs way differently, in my opinion, than Brandon Staley. It's Brandon Staley uses linebackers a lot more for pass situations, make them more out for coverage or whatnot. I don't feel like Jesse Minter's defense does that as much. If you watch a lot of the Ravens defense, which you assume that Jesse Minter kind of got a little bit of that view of what the Ravens defense is, he uses those guys to blitz a lot. And that's where Kenneth Murray's strength is.
Very good.
Very good at blitzing, very good at attacking the line. That's what he does well. Now, I feel Deion Henley could be a much more overall better looking linebacker for this defense.
Yeah.
I even think Nick Neiman at some level could be even better too.
He looked good too.
And I think the other question is, are we keeping Eric Kendricks here? Was he a part of the good old boys crew, with Brandon Staley?
Right.
I don't know. But I mean, this defense could be so different. And once again, Jesse Minter's defense with Michigan was #1 in college football. Now, that's pretty big. I think he only gave up. Oh, what was it? Here you go. Let me see real quick. Their defense gave up. Ooh, man, here you go. I think it was 10.4 points a game, I think is what they gave up a game. They were a dynamite offense in general, or defense. I think they gave up 247 yards per game, which is great even at the NFL level. Now, this is his first time of him going to the NFL with his defense. We hope that it's going to be that same physical nature of it. And that's, to be honest, something that the Chargers have lacked quite a bit on defense for a long time. Physicality is massive. And if you look at all the defenses that are in the league right now, or at least in the playoffs, physical defenses. So,
yeah. Well, and you can keep K9 really cheap. So this is one thing I always said about K9.
And that's a big part too. Yeah.
Yeah. You could probably, okay. I'm not a huge fan of Kendricks. Kendricks was okay.
Yep.
Brandon Staley had a huge hard on for Eric Kendricks. He wanted him just because he was just enamored with him, and he's good. Don't get me wrong. He had great seasons.
Yep.
But he's not as good as someone younger like a Henley. But K9, my only thing I would say is K9 really is a Michigan guy. He is a downhill dog. He's just going to hit. I think you just need to keep him right in the middle, and he is spying the quarterback and spying the running back, and that's it. And he is just there. There you go. There you go. Wolfpack. Woo! And that's it. Like, keep it very simple for him. Don't put him in coverage. He's there to disrupt. That's all he's there for. Downhill, find a gap, go. And I just think it was again, Brandon Staley's defense was so overcomplicated that it made no sense. The thing that I think, and I want to study Jesse Minter's defense in Michigan a lot more. So I might do a video. Guys, in the chat, would you like me to do a video explaining the defense that he's going to be bringing to the Chargers?
You know what? Yeah, see if you can find some all 22 footage of say like the national championship game.
Okay,
and figure out some stuff. That'd be amazing. Like
that would be really good.
Okay, I'll see what I can find. Actually, that's a good idea. I'll see what I can find because to me, like I feel like I want to know what we're going to do. We're going to run a very similar defense to what the Ravens run, because that's essentially what the Harbaughs run. It's pretty much the same stuff. Very physical. Okay, so I'll do that. I'll see if I can find some stuff. And then as far as Michigan players, yes, I would love to get Blake Corum. Blake Corum's awesome.
Somebody brought up about I'm really interested to be able to see what the defensive line is going to be, because I think there's going to be a lot of shifting around there too. And one guy that came to mind was Chris Jenkins, who was ironically from Michigan. 305 pounds, 6'3", just a big dude all around. I mean, just adding muscle on the defensive line. Physicality is obviously going to come from him too, because he comes from that Jesse Minter, defense. You have to believe we're going to draft some Michigan, defensive players to be able to not only bring in a guy that knows the defense, but could teach the defense to other people too on the team. So I imagine we're going to be able to go after something like that. So I'm excited to be able to see what we're going to do in the defensive line too, because I think there's going to be a lot of shifting at the D line. I did see that Otito Obonya did tweet out about the Jim Harbaugh, hiring. Deion Henley tweeted out, and there was a lot of players that are like established players that didn't even say anything about it. So,
I mean, DJ deleted his social media.
Yeah, so. Derwin just disappeared all of a sudden. It's so strange.
It was so really interesting, because I was going to do a video on that, and Daniel Jeremiah came out and said there's no way that DJ's leaving, and then all that happened. You're like, okay,
something's up.
So Fernando from Compa on the Beat, he talked about that, and he said that DJ actually has done this before in the past. This is like he's thinking that there's not really a big red flag on it or whatever. So he believes that this is kind of just typical DJ behavior. He just kind of goes dark after seasons and stuff.
Yeah. But Derwin has value. See, my thought is you trade him away, dude, you could get probably a first and maybe a 4th round pick.
Sure. Yeah.
Dude, I mean, come on, man. Like, if he's got a bad attitude, move on with him, then fine. You don't have to be here. I love DJ too. So like, I mean, me saying that is, hey, you don't want to be here? Great. Don't have him here then. Move on.
And I mean, I the thing is though with Derwin, he's a competitor, and you could tell that dude's got a lot of competitive juice. Jim Harbaugh is a competitor. He's going to rub people the wrong way because of his competitive nature. I mean, that whole video that I talked about, and still to this day, Richard Sherman still got kind of a little bit of a vendetta or disliking towards Jim Harbaugh when he was playing with him in Stanford. He's got a little bit of an issues with him, but he realized over the time, we're just both competitors, and we're both just trying to win, and we're both trying to be the best we possibly can. If some of these players, and once again, the youth of today is a little soft, in my opinion, and you got to be able to get tough. And if you're not going to get tough, you're going to get out muscled in the NFL too. And Jim Harbaugh is going to come at you, and he's going to give you a short leash. To be honest, if you ain't doing it, you're out, bud. Like he did that a lot with like the Niners. He weeded out the snakes and see you, bud. You're out. So, I hope we get the best out of DJ with.
But here's the thing. What's the difference between? So I think about this a lot, right? What's the real difference between most players, right? All of them are physically gifted. Everyone's physically gifted. It's the way that they process information and their need to win, right? And the ability to turn it on, right? And I felt like the Chargers, man, it was like a resort out there. They just gave them whatever they wanted. They worked out whenever they wanted. How often did you hear them say, "Oh yeah, Derwin's there, but he's working off to the side, so he's not even doing the drills," you know?
Mm-hmm.
And so, I think that there's something to be said about the culture that's going to be different moving forward. It's going to be like a boot camp, dude.
Yep.
And it's going to be a lot like Dan Campbell at the Lions. I wouldn't be surprised if even starters are playing in the preseason to some degree.
Yep.
Yeah.
I agree. Yep. And I don't really personally think that we're going to trade up Derwin. I think it's the way that if you look at the other players that are out there, higher base salaries on the defense, Mac, Bosa, just to say specifically, you have to find a leader somewhere on that defense. And to be honest, it has to be Derwin because he's more of a younger guy and hasn't been, well, he's been injured, but he's been healthy for the most part in the last couple of years. You can't get rid of all of your leadership because you can't all of a sudden just not have Derwin James and also Bosa and also Mac. Like now your defense is just Thule pretty much at that point. Like that's just, it's so young at that point. So personally, I don't think it's going to happen. Now in Gilman, Alohi Gilman, I think is a guy that we have to re-sign too. He played really well on the back end of our defense. And, we got corner situations too. I mean, Michael Davis is probably gone. And now we're going to have basically Asante Samuel Jr. Who else is out there? I don't even know. It's like I'm trying to think of all of other corners at that point. I mean, we don't really have the ability to leave or let Derwin James go, in my opinion. But we'll see. I mean, I'm not the coach by any means. I don't make those decisions. But March will be telling for a lot of what's going on with this defense.
Right.
Yeah. So Minter's going to be big. And I think, guys, I don't even know how long he'll be here, right? I think the rumor is he comes here. Let's say he turns our team around. Let's say we have a top 10 defense. He's probably gone. He'll probably be a head coach somewhere else because, but again, at least it is what it is, exactly. Now, and the Michigan corners are great. What's the guy number 0? I'm trying to blank on his name.
Yeah, I remember.
He's coming into the draft too. There was a lot going on, but I think Gilman will re-sign him as well too. So, and that's a good point, Carlos. See, my feeling is we'll probably keep Mac. We'll probably keep Allen. Maybe restructure both of them if we possibly can. I would want to see us re-sign Everett. I would want to see us re-sign Gilman, and then obviously keep Derwin James. But I think Bosa and Williams have to go. That'll free up a little bit of space. I would love if we traded away Kendricks because we have him for one more year. If we were able to trade him away, I mean, I don't know what we could get for him, but or maybe even Pipkins, trade him away.
Right. Even
for a 5th or 6th round pick, why not? Right. You know what I mean? Just get some nasty guy that just has a, attitude. So I don't know. There's a lot to be done, so we'll see how we go.
Yep.
And because I think Kendricks is like $5 million a year, something like that. So it's not a whole lot of money. I mean, we acting like it's our money, like $5 million a year. I mean, come on now.
I'll take that.
Hey, we part of the team. We part of the team, bro. Just
Stand still. There you go. That's who it is. Yeah.
Jackson.
That guy's a stud, dude. Yeah, that guy's a stud. Bosa Williams for sure. So the rumor is that Harbaugh's boy's coming. What's
Jay
it?
Harbaugh.
Jay Harbaugh? Jay?
Yep.
But he's a special team guy. And I want Ryan Ficken here. So my take would be that this guy, the way I would handle it is, I mean, again, I'm not Jim Harbaugh. And what do you guys think in the chat and Bolt Bros? Let him learn under Ficken, make him his assistant coach, make him part of that organization, let him learn, and then let Ficken eventually take over.
Yeah. You mean let his son take over?
Take over eventually. Yeah. Eventually. Yeah. But at least one more year with Ficken. I mean, dude, come on.
Yeah. Right.
I mean, we've had so many problems with special teams in the past that it's like we can't just let Ficken walk. And we blocked interviews that he wanted to get. I think they were going to interview him with the Giants, I believe. Now with Jay Harbaugh, like he's going to probably come to this team one way or another. Like at some level, I don't know where he'll be, maybe a special team assistant or something like that, learning from Ryan Ficken or whatever. But I do feel like, once again, with this whole hiring of Jim Harbaugh, like, you think about the plan that happened with Gerard Mayo and Bill Belichick at, New England. Let's say we have a great run with Jim Harbaugh, and Jay Harbaugh, for some reason, sticks on our team the entire time. The idea is maybe 10 years that we have with Jim Harbaugh, then you put in Jay Harbaugh and try to have that continuity with the Harbaughs. I mean, right now it's a slam dunk with the Harbaughs in the NFL. Like, absolute slam dunk. Keep it going, Well,
and it's interesting, this head coaching cycle too. The big part of the conversation wasn't about like an offensive coordinator like a Ben Johnson. I don't even know if Ben Johnson's going to go anywhere, dude. He might be stuck with the Lions again. Everyone's trying to find that next Sean McVay, but this year it's about culture. It's we need to change. We need to get nasty. We need to be a-holes on the field, right? And physical attitude, will to win. And it's clear that just because it's weird. It's weird how it goes both ways, right? Like, we got Brandon Staley, had one good season as a defensive coordinator for the Rams, and all of a sudden he gets a head coaching role. Well, clearly that was a mistake, And so anyways, it'll be interesting.
There's one running back that I looked at, the Notre Dame running back, Audric Estime, I think is his name.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
That guy is a straight bowling ball. And that guy takes hits and he just keeps those legs going. Like, if I'm thinking in the draft, that's one of those guys that I would think would fit to a T, in my opinion, with what the Chargers, or at least Jim Harbaugh, would like to do. So keep an eye on that guy. I'm definitely going to keep an eye on him as a running back for this draft.
All right. I like as a running back, I like Braylon Allen quite a lot. I think he's probably going to go in third round. I think at most, though, but I've seen some of the tape on him, and he actually seems like he's like a lot like Derrick Henry, in my opinion. Like they're really solid, big bruiser type back.
Yep. And we'll obviously keep the draft talk going here soon enough, because right now we're trying to get the staff situated essentially here with the Chargers, and then it's going to be the draft talk. So we'll see where this all pans out.
All draft,
all draft.
I think we should do a weekly draft thing. It's like, okay, the scenario situation,
I like that idea. And I like the idea of trading down, especially if we're not going to go after a wide receiver first or anything like that. If we trade back, give our pick to somebody, not somebody in the AFC West. I mean, I wouldn't want to trade back like the Raiders or anything like that,
Yeah, right.
Someone on the NFC side, maybe Falcons or something. We get the 8th pick, and then they take, they give us like a second or something. I mean, I'm down, dude. I'm down with that. But we'll see.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see what happens with Jay. I'm curious how that plays out. I would assume, I know he's coming, but the question is to what capacity. I really hope we retain Ficken. I'd be pretty upset if we didn't retain Ficken. But I mean, there's just so much to be said. He's 20 years old.
This was such like an awesome week for the Chargers. Like, I mean, if I'm going to put together what happened this week, I mean, this is like a dream scenario for the Chargers fans versus an absolute disappointment that we generally get. And it's funny because we generally get the disappointment every time.
That's true.
We're
used to disappointment. Okay, I get it.
We're used to disappointment. Like, and it's like we all as fans, podcasters, even media are like, the right move is get Jim Harbaugh for the Chargers. The right move. And the right move generally Spanos does is like, hey, let's go get this hot shot 1-year DC or special teams guy or whatever it is, guy that was an intern head coach for 2 games and all of a sudden becomes a head coach for somewhere else. You end up doing some stupid hire. Like, this hiring is the right hiring. Like, this changes this whole dang team. And it's like, it's awesome to see that the Spanoses did that. So I will give them credit where credit's due. Shout out to the Spanoses. Thank you for doing this, guys. Because this is massive for the Chargers fan base, LA, everything like that. This is huge for the Chargers. And thank you.
Yeah, 100%, man. That's like, oh my gosh. Like, I think I mentioned it too. Like, that day I was close to crying, because of how happy I was. I was like, oh my gosh, they actually did us right for once. Like we've been
Finally.
deprived for ever since North Turner, really. You know, like I mean, because they held on to him for way too long, and then after him, we just had bust after bust after bust coaches. And now we finally got somebody that we all can get behind and we actually are hyped about, you know?
Unbelievable.
Like he's Harbaugh is yeah, that's right. Spanos is just ready for him. Just like, all right, what do
you ain't leaving the building, son. Check this out.
It's Daddy Fat Stacks over here, dude. He's got stacks.
Big ball Spanos, dude. Hey, we need
Spanos.
Big ball Spanos, dude. That's what we need
right.
to do. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's funny because I broke down. It was a video that I talked about. Can we afford Jim Harbaugh? Now, I assume that the contract's probably $15 million a season. Like that's not.
Yep.
That's a lot more money than they've ever spent on a head coach. But guess what? A head coach makes a massive difference to a team, and how a team works, operates, and could make you a lot more money. But the breakdown of it is they made what $72 million or $80 million basically last season in 2022. You know, if you just take little fractions of that money off of each person in the Spanos family, it's only a couple million to each person. Like, I mean, dude, spend a little bit of money to make more money to be able to put your team in a better situation all around. And they could afford it. It's just up to them if they wanted to write that check. And
just remember, it's going to pay out in dividends, man.
Big time.
The team's going to be worth more money. It's already worth 4.15 billion is what it's I guess the valuation. It's if they were to sell it, they probably have to sell for what, $6 billion most likely. But again, let's say we go win a couple championships. Yeah, you're looking at $8 billion probably, right? Yeah. So, you know, it's going to be very different, right? So look, he's immediately going to be getting the San Diego fan base back excited. And dude, in LA, you got to have some green to make a scene, man. If you are not splashing money, you're not relevant. Yep. And you know, you got to wear the big boy pants now, man. You got to wear the big boy pants. So ain't no depends no more, dude. It's time to nut up or shut up. You know what I'm saying?
That's exactly it, dude.
That's right.
Exactly. Yeah, man. And Spanos is nutted up. So here they are.
That's right.
He nutted up.
They nutted up.
Hey, perfect time for a sound effect. There we go.
What? Yeah. What do you mean? What nuts sound effect? What do you want me to?
I don't know. I don't know. Like a chopping wood or something. I don't know. Well, I mean, but guys, like, who's got it better than us right now, folks, dude? I mean,
buddy,
there it is,
dude.
Charge!
Yeah, I think more most likely is gone. We shall see. I think there's a lot to be said about that. Who knows?
And he's got a couple interviews, I think, lined up already. I think they've talked about him being an offensive coordinator for the Browns, I believe it was.
Okay.
So we'll see. Yeah. And Staley getting interviews with Green Bay and Miami. I mean, it's funny because I can't remember which podcast. It's a guy that makes a lot of funny videos on YouTube. He was doing a live and people kept talking about Staley getting interviewed for the Packers, and he's a big Packers fan.
Yeah,
and he was like, so many people were like, no, please, no, avoid. Now, the thing is, though, being a head coach is different than just being a defensive coordinator or offensive coordinator. You're dealing with less at that point. And I think Brandon Staley could be a good defensive coordinator somewhere else with the right situation. I think he could thrive at Miami. I think he could thrive at Packers. He just wasn't good as a head coach. And he was just being kind of a little bit, he couldn't find out his identity. He had an identity year one and forgot his identity.
That's exactly. Julian Edelman said that. And I remember thinking, like, when I heard that, I was like, it seems wrong. And then the more I thought about it, I'm like, he's right. He forgot how to be aggressive. He forgot, dude, you know who goes for more on fourth down than anybody in the league?
Dan Campbell.
Yep. By like a freaking long shot. Like we're talking ridiculous.
Yep. And he sticks to it.
Yeah. He stuck to it and it's worked.
Biting those kneecaps off, man.
That's right.
Yeah.
I like this for H4. Herbo needs to start banging Miss Swiffy.
Ooh, yes.
Oh, I got to make that happen. Oh man, I'm done with her, dude. She's so aggravating. I see her
Oh,
stupid
it's
ass
so
Yeah.
dude.
the box.
There's got to be a
Shut up.
betting line of some sort in Vegas of how many times they show
Ugh.
Kelsey getting a catch and then right to Taylor Swift. It's like
Oh.
simultaneous, and it's like, dude,
Right?
I don't give a crap about her
Yeah.
reaction, dude.
Yes,
like, let's
exactly.
freaking watch the stupid game. Like, so annoying.
Yep.
Yeah.
No matter what.
Well, the interesting thing about the draft too, and we'll talk more about this as well too, guys. Again, he's came from college, right? So he knows a lot of these players. He's done a lot of work on these players. He probably has a pretty good understanding of what's going on.
Sure.
And again, the reality is you get Harbaugh because he can change the culture, but secondarily, he's going to be a good investment. He knows how to get the most from his players. Be very interesting to see how it plays out.
Yep.
Dude, this would be so sick. Watch him just punch Peyton in the face. Dude, Peyton's a bitch, dude. I don't like Peyton at all, dude. I'm glad we never got him as a head coach. I do not like that guy. He just, dude, he's annoying.
Yeah.
Harbaugh's a weirdo. Peyton's annoying.
Yep.
So, I agree with that. Oh, and we got Aether in the house here.
Yeah, he showed up late.
Aether,
I was
not cool,
I was gonna say though, I mean, yes, we all know that Harbaugh's the guy. Like, I mean, I want everyone to be cautiously optimistic still, though. I mean, there's gonna be some growing pains for him in the league. I mean, teaching a hungry college student versus a millionaire college player or a football player who's been in the league for a couple of years is going to be a little different, like, I mean, like the intensity and the focus is probably wholly totally different though in the NFL, and like he's been out of the league for a while, so that's the only caution that I have with Harbaugh right now. So
okay, guys, so okay, what's your score predictions right now for next season? In the chat, what's your score predictions? Just throw it out there.
Predictions?
Record
predictions.
I'm like, okay, we're gonna
17 games. This is gonna be
Well,
real
I'm
tough.
not over here. Hold on.
We're gonna score 400 points.
Record predictions for next season.
I don't even think we could even talk about that because we don't even know what
throw something out. Throw something out.
I mean, I talked about earlier
17-0.
17-0,
undefeated, baby.
19-0, or it would be 20-0, I think, right? Yeah, to be able to win the Super Bowl.
All the way, yeah. If you go all the way, yeah.
But and if I'm going to put anything out there, like what we talked about earlier in the live is, we were a 5-12 team. We could easily flip to a 12-5 team because once again, we were 1-9 on one score-based games. If we're on that same trend, or at least similar to that same type trend where we'll have a lot of one score-based games, we'll flip that. So, I mean, there's a good chance 12-5 could be a real possibility. I think there's a good chance that you could even find a way to win the AFC West next year too. I think it's a very good chance that it could be a very quick turnaround.
Yep.
Well, yeah. I mean, so looking at the strength of schedule for next year,
100%.
it's at 0.478. It's the fifth easiest schedule.
Big time.
Yep. That's why so I think we're going to have an awesome season. I think 12-5, 13-4 is very doable. Now, again, we don't know how good the Raiders are going to be. Broncos most likely are going to have some rookie quarterback.
Yep.
Raiders, are they going to stick with Favre? Who knows? But again, dude, it's going to be really interesting. I predicted the collapse and a top 5 pick for a keg of beer from the Chargers and the Leafs. Dan was,
yeah, I did that last year. Yeah.
Awesome. So HH4 did a great job of talking about this season and predicting what this season's going to be. And essentially, I think he probably nailed it on the head with the 5-12 record.
Yeah.
So I'm going to listen to HH4 from now on, whatever he says about this team, because that dude freaking nailed it on the head for this season, and everybody else was talking about big things. I have a hard time kind of still saying 12-5, but like that's just me trying to hold back because I was even thinking this year, we'll be like 9-8 at the worst. We'll probably be best at like 11-6 or whatever it is, and then it was just an absolute catastrophe as a year. So
HH4 said 9-8 next year.
9-8, and that's pretty fair, fair in my opinion for the first season.
Could be that could be very realistic because think about it. Like, I mean, how many players are we actually going to be able to retain? That's a really big conversation about that, because it's like, okay, we know we have a lot of stars on our team, but they may need to go in order for us to, and we may have a younger team coming into the season. So there could be, like I said, there could be a lot of growing pains this upcoming season.
It's just a lot of shifting of money too. And that's the thing. Like and I have like a whole breakdown of a potential situation where we could, alleviate some of the cap situations and keep some of our players on the team, actually keep all of our players, or for a most part of the players, the core players on this team. But I'm still kind of breaking it down and deciding if it sounds like I'm going to be an idiot if I do it and I don't know what I'm talking about, or if it's a legitimate thing that couldn't happen. So we'll see kind of where it goes. I mean, this team could get young really quick. That's kind of a scary thing about it.
I'm down with Grandizer here. We're going to dazzle you. I think the Chargers max 4 or 5 losses next year. And I'll tell you why. I think the reason, is that Harbaugh is going to get the most out of these guys. We already have plenty of talent, and you got Herbert. If Herbert can stay healthy, he's an X factor, and he can bring us back and win games. Guys, somebody brought this up. It's way far back. It can't get worse than these. So just so you know, Rob, we were the 30th ranked defense in the NFL. I think we were 32nd for the first 5 games.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
And we were horrible.
Yeah.
As soon as we fired him, guys, you realize we only gave up 17 points on average the last 3 games of the season. Now you can make the argument,
right?
We played the Broncos, we played the Chiefs that didn't even play their starters, yada yada. But that would have put us top 4, top 5 defense in the NFL.
Yep.
If we were at 17 points, and we would have lost, or we would have won those 1-9 games, or the 1-9 1-loss games. So that's what I'm saying. We're not that far off. If our defense was just mid, and our offense was just better at beating up the other team and beating them into submission, I think 4 or 5 loss maxes make a lot of sense, especially with the record the season we have. It's going to be light. It's going to be soft. So I think we'll be good.
And the one thing that's interesting about that stat too, I mean, our defense was 17 points.
Yeah.
And the issue is we didn't have Justin Herbert during that time for the offensive side of things. And Dicker basically was kicking every single ball into the field goal and had I think he was either 12 out of 13 attempts that he nailed for field goals. You realize if Justin Herbert was there, probably would only had maybe 7 attempts for field goals during that time. Think of that difference of scoring those touchdowns versus kicking field goals. There would have been a lot more wins all around. You would have probably thought, we might actually want to keep this guy as our head coach at that point.
Yeah.
And that would have been a Spanos move to be able to keep, Giff as our head coach.
Right.
So we kind of dodged a bullet essentially a little bit too, guys. Now we got Jim Harbaugh. So unless that was a plan the entire time, because I mean, even rumors and reports said that Spanos has been chatting with Harbaugh for a while anyways.
Well, he wanted the job last year. That was the rumor. And so secondarily, okay, cool. All right, we're done with this shit show with Brandon Staley. Let's move on. And I think it was already figured out a while ago. They just had to look and think of it this way, guys. Part of the reason why they wanted to interview so many people too is 1, they have to do their due diligence. 2, you never know who's going to become available for an OC or a DC down the road.
Right.
You never know. Things happen, right? So you're building a comprehensive list of people that you could bring in, and it's important to have those interviews. May as well take advantage of it. And again, the O-line and the defense, the O-line was so soft, guys. Oh man. It's funny. I was rewatching these videos, and it's so hard because when they pull, the one guy who's pulling is slow, doesn't get to his block in time, and the running back's already there. It's just everything was off. The rhythm, the timing, everything was off the whole season. And it was just like, oh my God, just the execution was just so poor.
Right.
And that's not going to be that way with these guys. So, okay. So this is good. Grandizer asked a question. Did he get unlimited power? The answer is no. I think what he wants is his guys, though.
Yep.
So he wants people he believes in. So that's what he got. So when you say unlimited power, yes, in a sense he did, I suppose. but in the other sense is that he has the right staff that he wants. That's what he wanted. Right. So in a sense, yes, but in a sense, no.
I mean, he's got a GM coming in too. And so it's not like he was going to be GM and head coach, have total control of everything. I do think that there's levels of like, hey, well, you got a new facility. We need this type of plan, nutrition plan. We need this type of, workout stuff here. We need this type of whatever. I think he kind of made some of the shots about the new facility and kind of what he wants out of the new facility too. So
I agree. Yeah,
I think there's a lot that he's just trying to create as a culture there and make sure that he has the right, tools to be able to train his players or get his players to be better.
So Dennis, James and I were talking about doing a short segment called Pancakes, or You Got Pancakes.
You got pancakes.
You got pancakes. And then and I was like, man, we didn't see any of that this year,
Right? Yeah.
The guy gets on the ground,
pancaked.
Yeah. And then the pancake comes down, a little pat of butter, and then some syrup on top.
Yeah.
I think it'd be hilarious. But we didn't have much of that this season. I'll tell you what, dude.
I gotta try and put that graphic together for us. Yeah.
Oh, it'd be so sick. Oh, you got pancaked,
Pancake.
Actually, it'd be awesome. Like have a guy like flipping pancakes, like cooking them on the side, like flipping them, and then it gets big and then hits them. Oh man, that'd be so sick. We can have fun with it. Bucky Irving would be fun times, better than Eckler. Like I think. Yeah, the Dutch center. I'm drawing a blank on his name. What's his name?
Is it Powers Johnston? Is that the guy?
Oh, Powers. That's right. Yeah, it's Powers. That's right.
Or is that Georgia? I can't remember.
No,
I think it's Powers, but it would be awesome if he actually has the same mullet like that other Powers guy from that show. What is that baseball show on HBO?
Oh,
what's that?
Oh, Kenny Powers.
Kenny Powers, dude. Oh. What if he had that? What if he had a nice mullet? Center with a mullet, dude. How sick would that be?
Nice.
Yeah, and we did. It was horrible. The O-line was bad. It was abysmal. And again, this is H4 is exactly right.
Big time.
When Corey Linsley went down, our team looked horrible.
Discombobulated is the way I looked at it as.
So Will Clapp's got to go. He's a free agent. Hymas looked good. I'm happy with Hymas. I think Hymas will probably be okay. Though I think we have him for one more year, I believe.
Yeah.
So I think they'll probably keep Hymas, but they might draft another center. Who knows? It'd be interesting to see what happened. So
right.
Yeah, and Hymas, I think, didn't do too bad of a job as a center. I mean, I think personally McFadden would be interesting to be able to see if we can put him at center. Like, I mean, that's a big dude. And then push Sawyer out to the right tackle, probably just put Pipkins as basically as a swing tackle. I mean, if you could fill an inside guard position with him, I don't think he's really that guy. There's some pieces inside this organization I think we could shift around a little bit.
Yeah, and Minter's our guy. Exciting. I think he's going to be playing. It's going to be nasty. We need another offensive guard. We played very soft, so I'm very curious how that plays out. You're going to hear some stories. I'm excited to see. You often hear that Harbaugh is next HC, that Herbert will get fired. Your thoughts? Harbaugh is the next head coach.
Do you often hear that Harbaugh is the next HC that Herbert will get fired? So because this is essentially his fourth head coach.
Oh, got it.
Oh,
so is that fourth? Yeah.
So basically,
I mean, intern side with GIF, I guess,
right.
But
yeah, you're saying that's some Emmanuel Acho speak right there. I think that fool's just blowing smoke out of his butt. So no, that's not gonna happen.
But the thing is, though, and we chatted about it amongst our chat thread. There's a side that I could say that if it's not working with Jim Harbaugh, it's not a Jim Harbaugh problem; it's a Herbert problem.
Sure.
And I could understand that, and I don't anticipate that to be the issue by any means. I think Justin Herbert's going to flourish under Jim Harbaugh.
Yeah.
Jim Harbaugh was a quarterback. Ironically, and what's really, really cool is that we got a head coach from an ex-Chargers player at the end of his career as our head coach now with Jim Harbaugh. I think it's really cool that we did that. And I really wish that the Chargers would do that a little bit more with some ex-players and getting them more involved in the coaching side of things. But I can agree at that point that if it doesn't work with Jim Harbaugh, it's not a Jim Harbaugh situation. It's a Justin Herbert situation.
I was going to say this, by the way, just totally random fact right here. Sorry, ADHD popped in. His real name is actually James as well.
Hey,
Yeah.
let's go.
James it's James Harbaugh, but he goes by Jim. So
Let's go. Hey, I had a landlord actually. Our place in LA, our landlord, when I first met him, he's like, "Oh, you go by James or Jim?" And I was like, "I go by James." All right, Jim. He just kept with Jim for the rest of the time I lived there.
Awesome.
And I was like, "All right,
funny.
whatever, man. You're
Yeah,
be Jim from now on."
Right?
That's
I'm
so
like,
funny.
dang, that's funny. Yeah.
All right.
Well, and again, Herbert, the one thing I will say about Herbert, where he needs to improve, he makes the hard throw. And he can make it easier on himself. Again, look at someone like a Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy is Mr. Irrelevant, but he runs the play as it's designed. Yeah. Herbert runs the play, but not as it's designed, right? He'll maybe it's designed to have a shallow crosser, right? It's a drag down the middle or something like that, or a seam route. But he'll see something else and go, okay, I'm going to go for the harder throw, but it's deeper down the field. And I think this year he kept trying to drive the ball downfield, and he just kind of got very focused on that.
Yeah.
I think Harbaugh will keep it very simple for him. No, this is how it's run. Yep. 1, 2, 3. And I really think they just let Herbert run it however he wanted. Can you remember when Moore was calling plays, there would be 2 plays called. It would essentially be a run play and a pass play. He'd go up, the run play was called, audible into the pass play, or audible into the run play, depending on the situation. And I think sometimes that got in his way a little bit. So I think that'll be interesting. He will change the culture. He will change the way Herbert has to run the quarterback off job as well too.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, he'll tell them like, "Hey, man, you know what this 2-minute drill generally is. This is what we're going to do. This is the target you need to look at. This is the type of, drag routes that we got here, out routes, or curl routes, whatever it might be." It's going to be coached up a lot better to where he will succeed in situations where you need to go downfield, get a touchdown to win a game, or whatever it might be. Like, I'm guaranteeing that's going to be a dramatic difference with this team with Jim Harbaugh as a head coach. So, and once again, it's putting players in the right situations to succeed. And I think that's the one thing that Jim Harbaugh for sure will bring to this team. Has to.
Well, yeah, he'll simplify it. And again, it's not going to be on his shoulders. I mean, think of the Miami Dolphins game. We were there. Yeah. And what was it? 36-34 or something like that.
Yeah.
Where the heck was the defense in that game? And that's my point, right? Like, we don't need a number 1 defense. We need a decent defense. Just hold them around 20 points. You should win. And that's where and Brandon Staley, man, don't even get me started on his pattern match zone defense. I still was confused. I watched as many videos as I could possibly find on it, and I'm still like, I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. Yep. And but he had his own vision. He was good at drawing it on the board and making it make sense and using flowery words, but getting people to do what he wanted them to do did not happen.
Yep.
That's the mark of a bad leader.
Yeah, exactly. And I think the problem with his pattern match zone defense is that every player had to be 100% awareness every single time. I was like, oh, if this player goes to this position, then that means that the cornerback needs to, this cornerback needs to go here. And if this play, it's like, I think that's kind of what was the problem, is that like, if someone didn't catch it, they had a miscue or something like that, and then the whole team just.
Well, and it wasn't even that. Think about this: you could do a drag route or a just a cross
route. Yeah.
Yeah. So this guy had to pass off to the linebacker, then eventually over. Like, that's 3 people that have to pass off that guy. That's not.
Yeah. Right.
That's not realistic in the NFL.
Well, I mean, it creates congestion in the middle of the field too. So it's like the handing off or even the cross routes basically create a colliding of people. Yeah. You could easily just open up one of those guys, and you could just pop it off right at him, and he just runs off. And think about what game was it? I want to say it was the Bears game, or it was one of our wins where I think we only needed like 5 yards to get like a first down, and that would have sealed the game. But then Justin Herbert bombs like a 50-something yard pass to Joshua Palmer to win the game. And you're like, why do you bomb the ball 50-something yards to when you really only needed 5 yards? Like, going to Andrew's point, it's like he makes the tough throws versus make the right throws. And that's the thing where I think you probably could have just, hey, I could have just dumped it off to Austin Eckler or whatnot, or some small curl route and got to the first down and game over kind of thing, versus make the dramatic catch, which is just, I don't know, man.
Well, but I mean, that's not only a Justin Herbert problem, though. I mean, because Josh Allen did the exact same thing in his divisional game. That last drive, like, he had the opportunity to get the first down, to move the ball, to move the chains, get more downs and stuff like that, but instead he went for the home run pass, seemingly like 3 times in a row. And I'm like, whoa, what the heck are you doing, man? Just freaking,
And the whole thing about that drive, it was like they had them on the heels. Like, that was like a phenomenal drive up to that point. And then that third down throw to the end zone, and it was like, what are you doing, bro? Like, you could have just kept that momentum of running the ball, doing the small little plays. You don't want to give a ton of time to Mahomes to be able to go back downfield or whatnot. It was such an odd choice, but
And Dennis Young, just so you know, I'm always right, So
well, I say that to Aether all the time. I say, because when I'm chatting with him, I always say, I'm always right. You got to remember that. So the Bulldogs are always right.
Hey, bro.
100% right.
Don't even worry about it. All the time, baby. Yeah. All the time. Hey, so Vic Fangio, really interesting situation. Really, I'm curious to hear what happened there. But yes, I hear he does love Jim Harbaugh. But I think it's going to be Jesse Minter. And Aether, throw out your question. I know we got a few minutes left. Let's see. Still don't get how number 10 gets so many bad passes. That's an interesting point. I do wonder why that is the case as well too. That needs to be cleaned up.
He seems like he throws a lot of sidearm passes a lot of times, but then also, it does seem like he kind of like locks eyes on where he's going to go. And so obviously, those linemen, like, they can see what, like, his eyes, and they're like, oh, he's throwing it my way. So they just throw it up,
So this is Aether, most likely happen. Chargers defense top 5. Herbert throws 40 touchdowns, or AKA touchies.
Ooh, get them tutties. Yes.
I like it.
That would be tough, man. If you had to choose one of those, I to go to top 5 quickly like that is tough. To throw 40 touchdowns is tough. Like, that's not a common stat by any means. So that's a really, really hard question. I don't even know if I could really truly answer that right now. I don't know what wide receivers Justin Herbert's going to have. So I really don't even know.
Well, and another thing I thought about as well too, I wanted to talk about this. Quinton Johnston's going to be better next year, right?
You would think so, yeah.
Harbaugh is not going to allow him to keep dropping the ball, right? Nope. He's going to walk up and punch him in the face and say, hey, dude, catch the damn ball, you know? And there's going to be a conversation where, he's going to toughen him up mentally, right? I think that dude has all the physical traits, but he needs to figure out concentration. I watched a video on, I can't remember what he called it. There was a drill he had. It was a picture of a guy, and anyways, it was basically about concentration, and he calls it a concentration. I'll try and find the video, but basically, he has all these drills that he has players do so he can focus on concentration and making the right decision. So it's like left, right, and so it's decision making, situational type things. And so those are things that this team needs to improve on.
That's good. Yep. You know what I think that they should do for Quinton Johnston? They should throw eggs at him. And he's got to catch the eggs,
or he's going to get egged up. Yeah.
Like cool runnings or something like that. He's got his egg.
Yeah. He's got to put an egg on a spoon, maybe, like that. You just got
to, Brock Purdy was just saying, actually, funny story about that. Becky, our sister, she was putting barbecue sauce on her sandwich. It looked like she was defusing a nuclear bomb. She was so focused. She's like, her face was like right in there. I'm like, yo, dude.
Get the tongue out and everything.
I'm like, holy smokes.
What are we doing here, MacGyver?
On a sandwich, dude. And you're like, it looks like you're defusing the bomb for like you're saving the world here or something. I'm like, okay. Right. Brock Purdy, just same thing. Wasted too much time looking for the big play. Yeah, exactly. Sometimes, dude, that's what Tom Shady lived on.
Yeah.
Just throw the slant, throw the out, throw the real quick pass, the easy high percentage pass.
2 seconds, 3 seconds tops. That's all you get. Just make a decision.
And by the way, too, the other thing I would say, and this is where I get a little frustrated with Kellen Moore. Quinton Johnston clearly did not do a good job of running certain routes. That was one of his big knocks coming out of college. He telegraphed go routes. He telegraphed all these different things. And so have him run very specific routes. Have him run what he does well. And don't have him run what he doesn't do well. Now, again, you can also make the argument, well, you don't want to do that because then you're, they all know what he's going to do. He's got 3 different choices. Okay, which of the 3 is he going to run, right? But my other thought is you have to have receivers that separate, just like this guy says here. Here we go. Separate. Yep. Keenan Allen is great at that because he comes out of every stance the same way. You don't know if he's going to go left, right, stutter. But Quinton was always put his head down and dug. It was he never did anything with speed. He never mixed it up. He never did anything different, right? So,
and Josh Palmer, I think, to be honest, has done a pretty good job of kind of mimicking a little bit with Keenan Allen. I'm excited to see how he does this year, and I think he's going to flourish. Even if we let go like Mike Williams and Keenan Allen, I think Palmer will be a big receiver for us next season. Massive for us.
Palmer's got heart too, man. I think so. Let me put it this way: he's going to be hard on him. He's going to ride him like Seabiscuit, dude. He is going to be all over him like Yoda on Luke. I mean, truly, he's going to be pushing him, dude. So, yeah, he definitely gets hurt quite a bit. Yeah, and we're going to keep Allen. We're going to keep Allen.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah. I think we should keep Allen. He retire as a Charger. That'd be good.
Yeah, I would like to.
Yeah.
Yep.
But
I do get kind of concerned about Telesco being of the Raiders and him trying to see if he could get his dudes over there.
Sure. Yeah. Right.
And Allen would be that target.
Yeah.
Well, what if he said, "Hey, we want Q. We want Q.
Yeah.
Trade him away. Maybe we get a second round pick out of him. Maybe. Why not?
Yeah.
Who knows?
Could definitely get a comp pick as well, probably for that situation.
Yeah, that's true. And a comp pick. Yeah. I mean,
yeah.
Like Yoda on Luke, bro. I'm telling you, Harbaugh
that's right.
is going to ride people like Seabiscuit. No joke, dude.
Oh, no joke.
He is going to be like, "Hey, Cream Puff, you better work out harder." Hey,
that's right.
By the way, he is also there's also discussions around a nutrition plan. So there's only going to be certain types of food in the building. He is going to be very specific on what people can eat. It's going to be intense. He has also there's a whole analytics team he wants to bring with him as well too. I can't remember. Again, all this stuff is slowly coming out, right? He wants an analytics group. He wants all this stuff. There's a lot.
You mean a sign stealing group? I'm totally down for it, man. Hey,
let's go.
That's not.
Hey, you get a Super Bowl win. I don't care. I don't care, dude.
Hey, you know what we say is that if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. So
that's right.
Good.
That's right.
How about it's like we make our hat, make the Bolts cheat again? Maybe we could just cheat.
I don't care.
Give me that win. I don't care.
Yeah, get that ring. I don't give a crap.
Hey, we still got to do that hat. Build Bolts better. We got to do that one as well too.
It's already there. Yeah,
it is there. Yeah, we got to. Hey, we got to make that one hat. We got to get one. I got to get one myself, man.
Yeah. You want to get one? Then go buy it, fool.
Well, I got to go get one. Yeah. Build Bolts better. Yeah, right. But we got to get some more stuff too. Harbaugh for Prez. I like that too. That's a good one. Harbaugh for Prez.
Right. Herbert, Harbaugh 24.
Harbaugh.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Harbaugh. I like that. Harbaugh.
Los Angeles football. For
football, I like that too. That's good too. Yeah. So, we're an hour and a half in, guys. So, a lot to discuss. Hopefully, this has been beneficial for you guys. But again, the first, that's going to be the big pep rally,
baby. Thursday
the first.
Thursday, man.
I think we need to make that happen. Make the Chargers great again. We wanted to say that, but we were a little nervous about using the word Chargers because you get a little nervous about that. Chargers, they don't like things in their likeness, kind of a deal. So, hey, we're practically a nonprofit here, man. So we got to be careful. We don't want to get sued. We don't want to get sued. We don't get sued.
That's right. Yeah. We ain't trying to step on no one's toes with the Chargers.
That's right.
We just trying
be
to
in the good graces.
Yes, right.
So I'll start. Final thoughts. Look, sky's the limit. Harbaugh for Prez. I'm hyped. Hey. Dennis Young, you got exactly right. Who's got it better than us? Dude, I'm telling you right now, I think we get 4 losses next season. I think that's it. I maybe 3 or maybe 5. And James always wrong, but I love you, my baby. Hey, look, I'll tell you. But I'm with you, Aether. I think we get 4 losses next year. I'm not joking. Again, we were 1-9 on 1-score games.
Yep.
Harbaugh will be the difference maker on those 1-score games, and we had an extremely difficult, season this year. So it's going to be a lot easier next season. I think 4 losses, man. So, who wants to talk next?
Yeah, I can throw my last thoughts here. So it's exciting. I cannot wait to be able to see this next season. And honestly, I think this is going to be one of the more exciting off seasons we've had in a long time. Most of the time there's this low point, and it usually happens a little bit after the draft, but then you're going to have rookie mini camp. You're going to get through May and June at that point. Then we get into May, June, and then July essentially is when training camp starts ramping up at that point. It's going to come faster, guys, but I cannot wait for this basically to happen to where we could see this team really, really materialize. And once again, I think there's a lot with this team that could really develop a very quick winning base type season. Jim Harbaugh is going to make a big difference to this team, and this whole coaching staff is going to be exciting to see it all develop. But the draft is what my eyes are focused on next. Who are we going to add to this team? Are we going to trade back? Are we going to get more players that are going to be great fits, physical type guys? I mean, Dan Campbell, if you really look at what he did in a short amount of time, those players bought in. And Jim Harbaugh is going to put in his system, and those players better buy in, or they're getting their way out of there one way or another. So, and I like having a no BS coach. Hey, it's my way or the highway, buddy. And hey, it's not no boys club or anything like that. I don't care who you are. You better prove to me that you're in my system and you're a part of this team and what we're doing.
And Staley made it a boys club, dude. He had his boys. Everyone else was naval lint after that. That's true, man. He treated like Henley like garbage, dude. Forgot his birthday. Didn't even pay attention. It's like, that's poor leadership, dude. Poor leadership.
And by the way, Dennis, we did have Henley on our show actually too.
Yep.
We interviewed him a month and a half ago or something like that. So great interview. Great interview. Check out our video.
We need to make that happen.
Well, I'd love to get him again. That'd be great. Yeah. Yep. So do a little Power Rangers video with him. Like, we'll do like it's bolt up time, and then like be good.
Yep.
I think the next live we'll probably talk about OCDC. We'll probably have an idea who that is and kind of where we sit with all that. So we'll
Are we in a band now?
That's a band, yeah.
That's right. Yeah. No, ACDC, baby. What's up?
Yeah, it's OCDC now. It's like it's
And Grandizer's question here about the next video, Charger salary cap. So I actually have a whole idea of how we could keep everybody on this team.
Good.
So I could do that video this week. I just don't want to sound like a dummy and not make the wrong, maybe assessment that I'm seeing, but I'm using basically over the cap on how I figured this out, how we could basically make a fair amount of money to spend next season, plus keep all players on this team too. And only a couple losses basically. So I could do that video. Once again, maybe I'll put an asterisk in front of it saying, well, this is what I'm seeing from over the cap, and this is what they could do. And I'm just going to talk about next season, not 2025, kind of situation.
Yeah. It's your opinion. That's fine. Granddad, you're talking about the short vids. Are you talking about the game footage, like the all-22 footage? And then mock draft Mondays. We should probably do that as well, too. We should start talking about that for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's definitely almost getting into the that draft season. So Yep.
So final thoughts, Kyle, take us out.
Yeah, man. So this week has been, like we've been saying, this has been like one of the best weeks by far for the Chargers. It's just, oh my gosh, we finally got something good to hope about. There's been a couple times, of course, that we've had our hopes, brought up a lot though too. So I just want to keep people's keep ourselves a little bit, guarded still, I don't like, we always, that's part of this is part of the Chargers cycle, we fail, and then we bring our hopes back up a little bit more than it's going to happen. So just, we got to just calm down a little bit, and so, but I'm very excited to see what Jim Harbaugh can do. I know there's going to be some growing pains, and I know that we're we are worried that we are going to see a lot of our darlings on the team go.
Yeah.
And so it's going to be still a bumpy ride, but I think Harbaugh is going to do us right. I think, so we're going to see a lot of improvement in a short amount of time, I feel like. And so I think as far as anything goes, like next year, we can easily, I can split the difference between everything. I can say we might lose 6 to 7 games, maybe 5 games. So maybe 5 to 7 games that we might lose, but that's that's still very, very much better. So I think we're going to get to the mid 2000s seasons days once again here pretty soon. And I'm excited. And I think if we have a chance to win the division, not the first year with him, probably the second year.
Yep.
Man, you guys, I'm way more optimistic than you guys are apparently, but that's cool. That's fine. Hey, I don't mind being that guy because I get it, dude. I think Harbaugh is going to change the culture 100%.
Oh man,
we are not playing like a bunch of little sissies anymore. Look at the two little sissies. Man, dude, hey, we played like sissies. We played like soft doughboys out there half the time. It pissed me off. Again, I was watching the L22 footage. I'm like, what in the hell? No blocking. Wide receivers didn't block. Nobody helped the run game. It ain't gonna be that way no more. Like a good example, Parham. Dude, Parham couldn't block a grandma down the field, dude. He just he was a wide receiver. But my point is, it's going to be different. Yeah, and again, just like you said here, the schedule is going to be very soft, and I really, really do believe that's going to go to our advantage. And I think we're going to donkey punch hose, man. I don't think it's going to be a problem. Yep, no sissy boys, dude. Well said, Pablo. We got a lot of content coming your ways, folks. So I'm excited. And James, you and I, let's talk more about the first, man. Like, I want to go. I think that'd be super fun. If we can make that happen, let's just do it, dude.
Yep, we'll talk about it for sure. Let's just make sure that the Chargers do officially announce that there's going to be a rally of some sort too before we go. What if we go down there and they just locked it up in some room at SoFi and we're like, oh, well, okay.
That's not cool.
Well, I mean, we can go to Kogi at least, but that's cool,
Right. That's great times.
Baby. If they lock it down, we'll just sneak in there. We'll do a little bit of a. I got a little bit of the inside information about how to get around and stuff. So
let's
all
go.
Good.
Yeah. Where that Harbaugh at? Let's have a conversation, dog.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. All right. Well, guys, we're the Bolt. Hey, guys, thank you. And guys, we're monetized. Oh, one last thought. We were thinking about doing a membership, just like $5 a month. And we get some special emojis. So you're in the chat, you can throw out the special emojis and
you get like badges.
Yeah, badges. We should do like a rank up system as well too, so you can get ranked up and things like that. There's is that an option as well too, Kyle?
No, it's just like the badges come after month or something like that.
Got it. Yeah. Okay, so you get badges. So that's what it is. The ranking up system.
The longer you have it, the better, the cooler badge you get. I guess
you get leveled up. Yeah. Okay, that's
good.
Yeah,
you get like a mushroom or something like that.
I don't think I've been more excited as a Chargers fan, man. I think this is
big.
A changing of the guard, if you will, right? Yep. We are moving the right direction. Yep. So
the 14-2 season is one thing, and being in the Super Bowl was another too. At the batted pass against the Pittsburgh Steelers to get to the Super Bowl is pretty exciting too. But
amazing.
This is once again, Andrew is saying it. This is a totally different era. That I think we're going to uncharted territories, like we're Star Trek over here.
That's right. We're gonna donkey punch them hoes, dude.
Let's go.
The league is on notice.
Yeah,
you about to get hoe slapped. Pow. Done.
Yep.
That's right.
Let's go.
Better have my money.
Let's do
it. Like and subscribe, guys. I tell you what. Hey, we're back, man. We're monetized. So we were in a YouTube timeout for a long time. We got a talking to. We were in the corner for a little bit.
Yes, sir.
Hey, but we're back and better than ever, boys. That's
back,
all
baby.
That matters.
Right when the season's over with, we're back, boys.
That's right. That's right. All right, guys. Well, we're the Bolt Bros. We'll see you guys in the next one.
Let's go,
bros. Let's go.